Look.
Listen.
Taylor. There's a ghost and he's haunting the podcast. Welcome to Look, Listen, Cast, episode 140, where we're going to discuss Horizons episode 86. Can you believe it?
As well as our deepest fears.
David Lynch, hello. I can't stop saying, can you believe it? It's a lot of fun, guys.
R.I.P.
Rip to the goat. Taylor.
F's in chat. Is that still a thing, or does that make me what do they call old people now?
The olds. Rest in pepperoni. Geese peep.
I don't like pepperoni.
There's no way. You go to Publix so much, and you're telling me you've never had a delicious pepperoni sandwich?
Oh, God.
A nice steaming or cold pepperoni sandwich?
Ew.
You know what Martha Stewart likes to eat while she plays Scrabble?
Insider information?
An onion. Well, this was before they knew about that. This was an onion sandwich with sweet butter and salted peppered onion.
That's an old people thing. I've heard of that before.
It's an old French people thing. They'll just cut out a huge slice of onion, put it on a sandwich, and eat it.
She said it's got to be real ripe, too. Just get a real rank onion.
How do you see... Do onions ripen?
Well, maybe the word ripe is not what she said. Guys, look, we have no time for foolishness or Martha Stewart. This is the most structured podcast on the planet, and that means it's time to move on to our first segment of the week, which is, of course, Taylor, set her up.
What's geesing with geese? Peeping in on geese.
Put the T-ball on the T-ball stand. Geese peep, knock it out of the park. What you been peeping?
Speaking of tea, let's peep in on geese.
Go ahead, please.
Update from last week. I'm on antibiotics, and I'm not coughing as much.
Nice!
I'm not going to interrupt your segment this week. An unprecedented incident. Remind me to talk about antibiotics later, because boy, do I have a yarn.
And also, I am going to interrupt Geese Peep's story because as soon as she sells seashells by the seashore and tells one of her stories, I have to interrupt with a story that's also a yarn and related to something she has to say. So, Geese Peep, please take it away.
Aren't you excited about your segment, Geese?
Geese Peep, we have so much to say, and will you just please get over it with whatever you need to say so Michael and Taylor can get to talking?
Oh my God!
This is our new favorite segment.
Okay, well, first up on my docket is I went to the thrift store and I got some good stuff.
Did you meet Macklemore?
No. I got a book about hummingbirds. I got a book about Florida. I got a book about how to conduct genealogical research.
Ooh. And about Florida.
My story is going to be so exciting. I just can't wait.
And I'm most excited about this book I got, which is How to Do Just About Anything, which I could use because I don't know how to do anything.
No.
I feel like you're great at most things. You're bad at like spelling and vocabulary, but that's just because it's related to your job. Haven't we said that before?
No. I also got a pair of jeans, which are somehow long enough for me, and a sweater that I tried to convince Michael to wear, but I will wear myself.
Oh, wow. That shopping for clothes is so Michael, what's your part of the Geese segment about?
No, she hasn't gotten to it yet. But I will say I'm not an easy person to shop for clothes because I'm very specific about what I wear. I've never met anybody who could predict what clothes I would wear. It's just a me thing.
I agree.
Here's the thing, guys. I was going to buy the sweater regardless. And my play was I was going to give it to Michael, and then Michael wouldn't wear it, and I would just wear it.
Perfect. Everybody wins. Nobody loses in that scenario.
But here's the thing. It's 100% cotton, vintage Izod sweater. It's very comfortable, and yeah.
And there you go.
I got it for $6, so sue me.
Yep. Everybody wins. Also, I need someone to open up the transcripts of every episode and find every time Geese Peep has said, here's the thing, and then make a compilation for me. Thank you very much. Email that to looklistencast@gmail.com where you can send your questions. Please, Taylor, take it away. What are you peeping?
Speaking of antibiotics.
No, Taylor, please stop. It's the Geese's turn to talk.
Oh. I'm also hard to shop for clothes. It's the same thing. Like most of the time, I want something super adorable.
And you're the only person who's going to know what's adorable to you. So
exactly.
Please take it away.
You know what, Taylor? I might bring this sweater for you.
But you'd have to show it to me.
Well,
unfortunately, you would wear it. It's the most. I'm pretty sure he has. I'm looking at that exact
Hold on,
same
let me show
sweater
it up.
already in his jacket. I mean, in his closet.
Would it fit?
Probably not. But
Yeah,
it's
it's a
100%
large.
something you would wear.
Geese, I'm enormous. Oh, that looks so comfortable. Is it a slim extra long? Or any...
It says 100% cotton, made in
Oh.
Australia.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Answered the question and then some.
All right.
Okay.
Couldn't hear that. Okay, Geese Pete, please continue. Some people have to heat trans catch.
I'm not even going to be able to catch Heatran today.
Why? I thought you were going big at raid day.
Because real quick, excuse the mess in the apartment. It's been a weekend, but I got this little thing behind me.
You can't take dog to raids?
It's 12 weeks old. It is a rescue, and it is Rye. I got 2 hours of sleep last night. They found it under Guncan's trailer at work. It was covered in mud and shivering, so it was probably the runt of the litter. And she got it. I gave it 2 baths yesterday. It has finally stopped being in its panic mode of, oh, Jesus, I'm going to die. It's eaten a bunch. We got it heartworm medication. She's drinking so much. All the fleas are gone.
What about vaccines?
It's too early to do vaccines because they just did heartworm pills. But it's really nice because, much like other dog of the show, Charlie, this one has finally stopped being in near death mode and has started being in tail wagging, let me chew on some shoes mode. So we got her to walk down the stairs.
Can I name this dog?
It's already named Rosie.
Ugh.
After Rosie the Riveter.
Can you pick up the dog and show it to me?
So
Or-
she's not... I will at some point.
Okay. Anyway, here's my second story. So my grandma flew into Florida to visit us, and we all went out to dinner at this Italian restaurant.
Oh.
And we were eating outside, and I saw, as we were leaving, they had this planter outside, and it was there was peppers in this planter. And I jokingly to my father said, "Oh, Dad, should I pick one and then we can eat it?" And he was like, "Ha ha ha, yes." And so I did, with the intention of just taking it to take a photo of so I can identify it with my app, iNaturalist app. Anyway, a couple days pass, and we're on our way to go see my grandma again at my aunt's house. And my dad is like, "Oh, by the way, Maureen, I ate that pepper." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I ate it with my tuna salad." And I was like, "We don't even know if it's edible. Like, we don't know if it's okay to eat." And he was just like, "Well, it tasted really spicy and like a pepper." And then he got a little anxious and was like, "Why did you pick it if you didn't think it was edible?" And I was like, "Well, you were there. Why did you eat it?" Like, anyway, I think he's okay.
She just told a new part of the story, which I had never heard before, which is she said to him, "What if we eat it after I pick it?" So I'm now on her father's side of the story.
He was there. He said yes. Like, why would you eat it?
Because
didn't
you
know
said,
that-
"What if we
made the
pick it and
joke.
eat it?"
And
Okay,
he made
yes,
the like,
and-
ha ha, of course we will.
He didn't know you were joking that it was edible or not edible.
I thought he did.
I never said that it was edible.
Wait, I thought you just said that you said, haha, what if I picked it and we ate it later?
Yes, but I didn't say if it was edible or not. What?
Okay, well, I was going to your side of the story here, but now I'm kind of on your dad's side.
What? How is it my fault? He was
You literally
there
said
when
to
we
him,
picked
why
it.
don't we pick it and eat it? And so
Yeah.
we ate it like what a person would do if somebody said, why don't we pick this and eat this? He was probably doing something he thought you would want him
Don't you
to do.
have an ecology book in your pocket right now?
Well, when we later got back and I put it in the kitchen, my mom was like, "Oh, just
Wait, you got back and put it in the kitchen?
You put it in the place where people get food to eat. Oh my
he's
God.
not a dog. He was there when I picked it."
Right,
I
because
told
he
him I
listened to
didn't
the
know what it
English
was.
coming out of your mouth that said, why don't we eat this? Anyway,
Oh, geese.
Geese
Oh,
peep,
boy.
no.
No,
We may
I-
need to
No.
delete
I am
delete the
correct.
tapes on this one.
the,
'Cause
the cops are already coming for you. Listen to the background, guys.
I know you didn't even let me finish. When I got back and I put it on the counter, my mom and I were like, "Oh, I want to eat that," and I was like, "Yeah," and Dad said, "Oh yeah, I probably want to eat that."
So then you decided to smother it in butter and put it on a plate cut up with a fork.
He's
Trust
the one
me.
that did it.
Okay, here's my quick interruption. I'm jumping ahead. We're going back, don't worry. But I have to jump ahead to my Eaten of the Week because I have a story related. Shouts out to Wario64, my hero. I'm
Shouts
starving
out.
at work, and my boy both pings on his Discord and tweets out, guys, there's a code for $25 off DoorDash any order. And it works. And I put it in, and I pick up delicious Dave's Hot Chicken for free, a free meal. I'm going to town. It's delicious. I'm eating all my fries and coleslaw and sauce and chicken and cheese and yum, yum, yum. I take a big old bite, and then I look at the fork. And guys, let me show you something about this fork.
I hope it just has a picture of Geese's dad.
No, it's missing a little guy.
Oh,
and
no.
boy, do I look forever for the missing piece of fork.
Michael, did you know you didn't? You couldn't have.
It's just a little guy. I looked for
Stay
so
tuned.
long. And then the rest of the day, I'm going on ChatGPT asking, what if you accidentally swallowed a little piece of fork? And ChatGPT said, you're probably good. Just drink a lot of water and it'll pass. It's not super sharp. I mean, look, it's just a plastic fork.
Yeah. Worst case, it's absorbed into your body and shows up in your bloodstream a couple years later.
For audio listeners, it's just a normal plastic fork. It's not even sharp. What is how long is that, Taylor? Like, look, it's not even a full...
That's like a quarter of an inch, half
quarter
an
of
inch.
An inch. It's fine, guys.
Between 1 and 4 inches.
So much like Geese's father, I ate a fork accidentally. So I'm fine, though.
Oh, my goodness.
So speaking of things being absorbed into your bloodstream, I spent most of the weekend at the hospital. My friend thought he had food poisoning.
10 years ago.
Turns out that between 5 and 10 years ago, it turns out his gallbladder died. And over the past decade, his liver has sealed it in a layer of fat and has been trying to absorb the dead tissue. So they had to remove his necrotic gallbladder, and he's been in the hospital following a 6.5-hour surgery. And everybody I talked to the doctor. His whole family's in the hospital. I took Guncan there. I took Eric there, which dog is going to Eric, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
More on that later in Geese's Geese of the Week. And the doctor is just saying, and he just keeps kind of shaking his head. And Phil's dad is there, who is a preposterously educated person. You remember all those articles that used to come out about celebrities having 20 degrees and getting honorary degrees? And it's like, ooh, we gave you an honorary bachelor in literature. This guy legitimately has that many degrees. I think he has 16 bachelors, at least 1 law degree, and 1 to 2 doctorates. Like, he loves school.
Goodness.
He's worked all over the place. He's in his 60s, and he literally just got back from Machu Picchu doing a gigantic 2-week hike. He's great. So he's there talking to the doctor about the gallbladder. And doctor saying, well, none of us had ever seen this before. So the surgery should be, normal surgeries are like an hour, maybe 2 hours. This one was 6. And it was just rough.
Did he not get blood work done in the past?
That's what clued them in. So he's gotten blood work done, but they've never been really assessing his gut health. So they did specific tests wondering what was going on. And they said, that's not normal. So they assumed something was wrong with his gallbladder, because I don't know if they were measuring things that kind of ancillary things related to bile or something, but they check it out and they were like, oh, so they did a scan and they were like, and then they're doing the surgery and he's showing us the little robot hands going through the liver trying to find it. And there's just, that's where the gallbladder should be. So he's going home, hopefully today, maybe tomorrow. He's been in there for about a week because they were really worried about sepsis and other infections.
And this is the same poor boy who had his Pokemon card, or all of his Pokemon games stolen. So this poor kid can't catch a break.
And all the doctors that came in, 2 of them, said, I don't know how you weren't in a ridiculous amount of pain. And Phil's just
Because usually with gallbladder pain, you have it in pain in your chest. Oh my gosh.
Guys, is it time for Watch and Play and Eating of the Week, or are we in the middle of a different story?
Oh, anyway, that's my story about antibiotics.
Very sick. Geese Peep, are we prepared for Watch and Play and Eat of the Week, or is there more to say in Peep of the Week?
No, let's go.
Let's go.
All right, now let's see what the rest of us have been up to.
Thank goodness we're moving on because this looks like one of the most stacked Watch and Play and Eatons I've ever seen in all my days. Okay, let's rip through, guys. Listen up. Severance finale. I watched it. Outstanding. Wonderful. Fantastic. You know a show is good when the second you finish the finale, you say, goodness gracious, I need to rewatch all of it right this second.
Oh,
what
sick.
a great show. And I've seen so many clips on the internet. It's so cool, you guys. There's so many hidden things. I've seen so many clips of, oh, hey, remember this thing that happened in episode 1 of season 1? Look how it completely predicted the end of this. And it's just, oh my God, so sick. So many clues.
Can we rewatch it together?
Yes, we're going to rewatch every second. Okay.
Okay.
Next up in Watch and Play and Eden, I have played, because it's on PlayStation Plus, the Prince of Persia Metroidvania. I think it's called The Lost Crown, Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps.
How is it?
It is fun to play. I know a lot of people were talking about this game when it came out, even saying things like, oh my God, is this Game of the Year contender? It's a Ubisoft game. So story, dumb, bad. Art style, not a fan of it. But you can't argue that the dog can't play basketball. It's fun. It's fun to press the buttons is what I'm saying. So I guess I have to recommend it. Sorry, guys. Also, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is coming out soon, so I'm trying for the 5th or 6th time to get through Death Stranding. Director's Cut on PS5, and like I told Geese Peep, this game is very much Brittany Broski meme, which, Taylor, I'm sure you've seen the image. I know you don't go to the internet, but the woman who's drinking the soda, but she can't decide if she likes it or not, so she keeps going, and then raising eyebrows, and then going, and shaking her head no, but then going, but wait, perhaps? Yeah, you're super familiar. So Death Stranding is sometimes lots of fun and cool, other times so frustrating and obtuse, and you have to Google a million things because I was supposed to click in R3 for 3 seconds longer and double tap start, but then I can't do that because there's a separate menu you have to attach to this, and you can't do it all at once, but you have to know that by Googling, and then you put this in and then put that out and then take it, and then it's an odd game. But
I'll
it's
say
also fun.
About Death Stranding, because I got real into it, I was building bridges. I was building catapults. I was so into that game. 2.5 week trip to Thailand later, I come back and I'm not. I look at the map and I look at my little car with my little packages on it, and I say, I don't know. I think I'm done here.
Yeah, well, I'll beat it, probably, you would imagine. Also,
100%.
Because Michael was playing it, I was like, what is this story about anyway? And then I read about the story and I was like, wow, they really do make video games, huh?
I love Death Stranding. I will always say it's not a game that I finished, but it's one of those examples of a game that takes advantage of the medium. Because a lot of times people will make a very cinematic story-heavy game, or they'll make a gameplay game. But this one does something incredibly unique, and it gives you a certain perspective for the story. It's really cool. It's really quirky. It is, I would say, the most Hideo Kojima game I've ever played. Yeah. And I really like that.
Yeah, it's probably sick. I'll probably beat it. Also, I learned about a couple days ago, there's a brand new book in the Hunger Games series. Had no idea. I remember the last one, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, they were talking about forever, so I knew when it came out. But Sunrise on the Reaping is the brand new Hunger Games book. It's another prequel, this time about Haymitch, from he's played by Woody Harrelson in the films. So I buy Sunrise on the Reaping and then go to read it on my Kindle and see that my Kindle is in airplane mode because I'm still in the middle of reading a book that I rented from a library. But as long as I keep it on airplane mode, it won't know that. So before I started Sunrise on the Reaping, I had to finish No Country for Old Men. So I finished No Country for Old Men. That was
sick.
Michael, I find it amazing that I talk to you every single day. I had no idea you were even reading.
He's great at reading. I still remember you just plowing through the entire Song of Ice and Fire on your phone.
Yeah, on the little Kindle app.
I was sitting there and I was thinking, I can't get through anything. I get so bored and anxious when I read now.
Here's the thing. I went to school for a very long time, and I can't physically read without having to take notes in the side or underline.
Well, that's because you haven't gotten to the section in the book. How to do anything?
Got him, Taylor. I know how Geese Pete feels, by the way, now. Every time I say anything, there's like entire discussion period. But no, it's not a big deal. I've just been reading recently, like past couple days on little Kindle Paperwhite.
I'm not saying it is a big deal. I just find it funny that like I don't even know.
So, okay, Geese, you take notes when you read? Like fiction?
Yeah. Anything.
Huh. That's probably a good... Do you have ADD? ADHD?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. That's good.
That's good. Okay.
I should do that.
So
wait, I'm not done.
It's not even your segment. Okay, what?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. How does it feel, huh?
Geese, you can't just hijack people's segments.
Okay, go ahead, Geese, please.
Since you're a big reader,
I'm not a big reader. I read one chapter of Hunger Games. Yeah, sign me up for big reader of the year.
Whoa.
I need you to force me to read The Little Prince because...
Isn't that a children's book?
Yes. But look, like I said, I can't read things, okay?
I can't read.
Don't you work in a library?
My grandma gave me the book several years ago, and I need to read it so I can report back to my grandma.
Here's the thing, guys. Reading is the best thing to do at night. You're in bed, Kindle Paperwhite, the last thing you do before you go to sleep. Don't scroll on phone, don't watch on TV. It's going to be the best for putting you to sleep. Here's the bad news, guys. Because you're using so much more brain power and imagination to read, my dreams the last few nights have all been horrific nightmares. Because I'm reading
sick.
No Country for Old Men and Hunger Games. And yes, Hunger Games is young adult fiction, but there's also so much death and stuff in those books. So
those books were very scary. I didn't read Songbirds of Fires and Phalanx or something, but some of the imagery in it was very frightening.
Anyway, continuing along, No Country for Old Men. There's a lot more in the book. Well, I don't know about a lot more. There's a few extra chapters in the book that isn't in the movie. I think the movie is better. I think it's way more succinct and just gives you the good stuff.
I agree on that one.
And also, here's the final part of Sunrise and the Reaping so far is pretty good. I can't remember if the other books written in first person. I don't remember if they were.
No.
But
because it was all Katniss, this, and what was his name?
Professor
Peter?
Snow. Professor Snow.
Professor Snow. Peter.
Ballad
the
of
three of
Songbirds.
them with Katniss. Ooh, they went to the tree.
But Sunrise on the Reaping is written in first person from Haymitch's perspective. But my final watch and playing, Best Buy wanted me to play this game so bad because they put it on sale for nothing and then said, oh, and here's a free $10 gift certificate for you. So literally, I could trade this in at GameStop and get more money than I paid for it. And this game, of course, is the System Shock remake, Taylor, for PlayStation 5. If you like BioShock, you owe a lot to System Shock because it wouldn't exist without System Shock. And guys,
have you played it yet?
Yes, I've played a little bit.
How is it?
I don't think it's for me. I mean, does
it feel old?
Yeah, big time. But they cleaned it up a lot because if you were trying to interface with this on a PC, like I don't know if you had to run DOSBox or what, but it's a super old game. But this is like prettied up. There's something neat about this though, where half of it is super clean and the other half is old PC textures, and it's sort of a cool, fun little look.
That's interesting.
But there's so much staring at the map and running around, and I don't know if this is going to be for me, guys. I'll give it a little bit more probably, but I don't know if I'll keep playing this one. But maybe just sell it to GameStop for more than I paid, like I said. Okay. Geese Pete, please take it away with Severance, Toads, and Pizza. Thank you.
Severance finale. It was good. I'm excited to rewatch the show with Michael. I have a lot of questions, though, after the finale. And I kept asking these questions to Michael, and he kept not having the answers.
Guys, come on. Well, Geese Peep over here, she tried to look up what the people on Reddit had to say, and she called them idiots right to their face. DM'd them and said, you are the dumbest person I've ever even thought of coming up with.
Look, I have questions, okay? And I'm not getting the answers I need. I've been When it is springtime and summertime, I like to go outside at night and look for toads and frogs. Because those guys love being out there. Now, I'm still in Florida, and Florida has a problem with invasive cane toads.
Not again.
And so all the toads were invasive cane toads. And I was texting my mom, and she was like, "Did you kill them?" I was like, "No." She was like, "You need to call the people." And I was like, "Okay, I will call the people." So I'm afraid that if I call the people, the grounds people, they're going to be like, "Please kill those toads." And I don't have it in me to kill them. I'm sorry.
I couldn't do it either, Geese. Don't worry.
They're invasive, Taylor. Just mail them in a box to where their country is.
It's easier to kill lionfish when you know all they eat are other species' eggs. And you say, okay, this isn't just like a little invasive species thing. This is a completely demolishing the entire ecosystem thing.
I also had pizza and it was okay.
Nice.
Sick.
Taylor's turn to talk. What has he not talked about, though? I guess you haven't talked about Khazan. What is Khazan?
So I recently got to Hunter rank 1. I'm currently at Hunter rank 118 in Monster Hunter Wilds. I have beaten everything up and down. I have maxed out armor. I have so many different Ardean weapons. I'm sailing through the end game at this point. Only thing that really kills me is Tempered Gore Magala. If anybody's playing it, you understand what I'm saying.
Tempered Gore Magala, guys. You can't just make up sounds out of your mouth.
It's actually a monster from other series. It's not even the signature monster of this game. Everybody go play Monster Hunter Wilds. Capcom has shown a pretty big commitment to supporting the game going forward. So this game has legs, I'll tell you that. Now, does it get a little bit repetitive after you've done the same monster over and over and over again to farm for decorations and Ardean weapon parts? Yes.
Not in the
I know you were wondering. It does. That's fine.
Guys, I've been playing 6 Pokemon games shiny hunting all week. You know how many shinies I've caught? Tons of them. Like 3.
Yeah, but you get a new shiny. Yeah, I get another cracked barrel with a sleep attack with affinity.
No, I'm doing Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, catch combos like 200, getting 2 Paris. But go on, please.
So I moved on to first Berserker Khazan, which was apparently announced at the Game Awards. At the Keeleys.
Yeah.
And they said demo out now? Was that a big thing?
It wasn't a big thing, but first Berserker Khazan does sound familiar, yes.
It is, I hope I'm not incorrect about this. I think it's a South Korean produced game. If it is, they've been just killing it. Eliza P. Stellar Blade. Now first Berserker Khazan. They're just giving the people what they want in Souls-like fashion, and they're doing such a good job.
I was trying to type first Berserker Khazan, and instead I just wrote fries. And it's just telling me where to go to Five Guys.
Did you accidentally search for it in Google Maps?
No, I'm not. I don't even think I'm in a Google. I'm just in my iPhone typing in fries. Just looking for pictures of fries. Looking up first Berserker Khazan.
The amount of times I've done that is more than you would think.
God. Go on, please.
Anyway, this game has been compared to Lies of P and Neo/Neo 2. As anybody who's heard me talk about those games knows, I love those games. Lies of P DLC coming out this year. Neo 2, I beat everything except for the last DLC boss where I just said, I've put enough time into this. So I'm very excited about this game. Kind of worried about the washed out color palette, but it's very fun. Everybody go check it out. The demo is super good.
Yeah, it's South Korean and part of a larger franchise called Dungeons and Fighters or something.
Yeah, I was looking up. It was like a YouTube recommended video or something, and people were saying, "Oh, I'm surprised this isn't over monetized. I'm surprised this is So I'm assuming it's like a mobile game or a free to play game, or the series is
for that area. I mean, for that area, maybe. Sony's actually doing a ton of work getting funding to development in countries not necessarily known for game development. They have a China Hero project where they're getting a lot of games out of China, as well as Africa and India. Not that Africa is a country, but places in Africa.
A lot of those are really I think there's a lot of potential for developers like that. As soon as they break out of the free-to-play structure or the mobile structure, they do a really good job. The latest Grand Blue release, for instance, was very well received, despite it being based on like a fighter series or a free-to-play series.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of ideas that, let's say, console players specifically have never encountered. And maybe there's just these PC games only sold in that region that people love, but
or only popular. There are a couple games. Recently, I played Genshin Impact, and kind of for sort of research purposes, I was trying to see, because I knew a lot of people who had played it before, so I was trying to figure out how hard it was to enter as a new player and how easy it was to get to multiplayer content. It's pretty easy to enter as a new player, but to get to multiplayer is very difficult, tedious, and there's no real payoff. But the actual like root of the game, the world, the gameplay, it's all very good. Like there's a lot of potential there. It's just held back by monetization.
guys, is it time for Poké News of the Week?
I guess it's time for Poké News of the Week.
This comes from Cerebi. Believe it or not, the next English Pokemon TCG set has been officially revealed. The set is Destined Rivals. It features cards based on Team Rocket and releases May 30th, 2025. Look at all those Team Rockets. I love Team Rocket the Team Rocket TCG set as a kid, Taylor. I've told that story a million times. Me, like, shaking my mom awake in the middle of the night, asking her to buy me a box of Team Rocket cards on the Home Shopping Network.
Oh, that's
like,
great.
Oh my
look,
goodness.
36 packs. She didn't. Okay.
They made those packs so exciting.
Oh my god, big deal. I was ripping open those packs at Toys R Us at Pokemon Link. Okay, also the Pokemon Go Community Day on 20 April. I'm getting ahead of myself. Take two. The Pokemon Go Community Day on April 27, 2025 will focus on Vanillite, everybody's favorite little ice cream cone. It will run from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. I already have some of these shinies from Sword and Shield Raid Shiny Den, but I need, I think, 2 more, so this will be good for me.
Are
Also,
they getting any Community Day move?
I don't know. The next 7-star Terra Raid battle has been fully revealed, also from Cerebi. Battle against Ghost Terra-type Tyranitar runs March 28th through the 30th, and again a week later from April 4th to April 6th. I have one more piece of Poké News. I don't know why I didn't post it here, but very exciting. We're also getting a new set in Pokemon TCG Pocket, introducing shiny Pokemon. Maybe I already gave you this news. That's why it's not on here. But let's give this news again, because I, for one, am excited. The set is called Shining Revelry. Add shiny Pokemon to the game. Available from March 27th. That was yesterday! By the time you're hearing this, how exciting for all of you. Go open some packs. I hope you saved up your hourglasses so you can rip 10 of them.
I certainly have not been playing the game as much, so have plenty of hourglasses.
Taylor.
Yeah, I can tell because you don't show up as much on my list of community showcase.
Also, you won't have more by not playing the game because you max out. You can only have a max of 2 pack openings.
Yeah. So what I do is I log in once per day, open 2 packs, and collect my 4 hourglass pieces.
Oh, I mean, I don't do much more than that, but okay. Now it is time to discuss an episode of Pokemon. Geese Peep, can you please tell us what happened last time on Pokemon, please? On Pokes?
They're in Laqua, and they got into deeper Laqua. They took down the barrier with the turtle, and now they're inside of it.
Nice. Now, Geese Peep, can you tell us the name of today's episode in English? Wait, Taylor's
the Rising
making
Volt
noises?
Tacklers.
Versus the Explorers.
Or in Japanese, Rayjing bolte Khazan BS Ex plorers. Geese Peep, can you please tell us 1-sentence synopsis for this week, please?
The battle for Laqua.
Wow. Guys, here's the thing. Is Geese Peep gonna like this episode? No. Did I enjoy this episode? Yes. It was a lot of fun and had lots of cool battle mechanics.
Enjoyed some of the battle mechanics.
If you are like me, oh my god, little spoilers for you, Taylor.
Oh no. You're gonna spoil the Severance finale.
If you're like me and you do all the 7-star Terra raids, you are very familiar with the move skill swap. And let's just say, spoilers, I was excited during this episode. All right, guys. We open with a recap of last episode. Great. Good music.
The gang made it to Laqua.
I liked the music in the recap. I was having fun. It was very, they did that because they did eventually go into the dun-dun-dun, their normal little guy. But the preamble music had that sick Dragon Quest Final Fantasy vibe I like. It was sick. It was good. No actual intro, though. There's no cold open at all. We just get a recap immediately into theme song. We're back from the theme song.
To be fair, there really wasn't. Between last episode and this episode, not a whole lot happens.
No, it's an immediate continuation. We open with Gibeon in his little wheelchair, and he's scooching Taylor, talking to 10% Shiny Zygarde. He's saying every noun in the book.
Now, I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking several things right off the bat. One, how on earth did they make the last episode so boring when we're seeing Gibeon outside of his Zordon lair for the first time in the show, outside of the flashbacks? And he's in Laqua with his Zygarde and has apparently either lost his mind or he's very fixated on his task or he's under some sort of trance. Also, why didn't they make him look older?
He's probably got youth ray blasted by the Laqua.
That's the whole thing. That's how he's still alive.
So, does that mean he's just aging slowly? Because he's significantly older than he was in the show when he got his Laqua infusion.
He's probably just de-aging, much like the rats. You're familiar.
Oh,
much like the jellyfish in the sea. So yes, Gibeon is just saying words related to Laqua. And then we cut to the kids versus Sidian, Coral, and Chelsea. Oh my god, Geese Peep. You're telling me that this entire time the explorers knew where Laqua was?
I find it hard to believe that they also didn't know that.
It was the silliest bit of writing I've seen in several episodes where they're like, oh, yeah, we were using you because we knew Terrapagos was going to be able to open the seal. And everyone's like, oh, you knew the whole time? And I was thinking, okay, I guess they're going to do something with this or something. And then it just turns out to not mean anything to anybody.
Yeah, it does, because remember, Liko looked at the explorer's lair right next to Laqua. It's right, sitting right down there. Of course they knew where Laqua was.
Well, this just brings back to my point a couple episodes ago where last episode, why did they remove the barrier that they knew was created to protect Laqua?
Guys, I feel like we're missing something huge here. Everything makes perfect sense. The explorers have literally been talking to Gibeon this whole time. Gibeon is inside there. Gibeon is telling them where Laqua is, and the only way to get to Gibeon is to break that barrier with Terrapagos. So it all makes perfect sense.
Wait, Gibeon's been inside Laqua, and the explorers have been trying to reach Gibeon?
That has not been clear. That is not clear at all.
This is the first time I'm learning of this.
Yes.
What do you mean they're always talking to Gibeon?
Yes, but he's always in like a tech area laboratory. And I thought Butler Hamburglar came in one time to talk to him face to face.
No, I don't think
I
Butler
thought that happened too.
You think Butler Hamburglers went into Laqua?
No, went into where he was in like his laboratory.
I find it funny that they showed us shots of flying Zapdos and Virizion hanging out with Stantlers in last episode for 25 minutes and have done nothing to clear up any confusion regarding Gibeon, the explorers, their base location. That should have been a huge reveal. Guess what? The base is here.
There's only two confused people on this podcast. Everything makes perfect sense to me. That's why they were always being told, no, just follow him. Don't mess with him. Clearly, we need the 6 Heroes of Light, and we need Terrapagos.
You got bonus information during your terror raids.
They're gonna...
It was obvious that they needed Liko and Terrapagos to break the seal. But I don't think it was implied at all that that's where Gibeon has been.
Well, it's not implied. It's just very clearly you watch the episode and you see him rolling around in Laqua. Anyway.
That's only because he just got there.
Yeah, I thought he just got there.
Oh, he rolled his wheelchair all the way over there?
Yeah.
No, he probably came in a plane or something.
Or a Skarmory.
Everybody write to looklistencast@gmail.com or leave a comment in the YouTube video. What's going on, guys? You tell me. Okay, well, Coral's laughing at the kids. They're a bunch of idiots. You can't believe we fooled you guys. We cut to Fritos. He's inside with Spinal. They're explaining the exact same thing, cutting back and forth. You Rising Bolt tacklers are nothing but a bunch of fools. And Liko replies with, nuh-uh. All right, sick. It's time to battle, guys. Let's go. Duel. Go Umbreon. Go Behem. Charizard. Captain Pikachu. Thunder Punch. Foul Play. Air Slash. Psychic. Thunder Punch. Dragon Claw. Also, use a double team. Oh my god, guys. The double team was interrupted. Ooh,
the Fritos and what's his name? Skarsgård, probably. Researcher.
You're talking about
Spinal. Spinal. And Fritos. That fight is very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I wish the animation had been better.
Nah.
There were at least some good faces this episode.
Yeah. Thinking about the kids fight and the big reveal to the kids that they've been just a tool in the hands of the explorers, and then the show's inability to let any suspense or deceit sit for more than 40 seconds. They go, we've been using you. Kids are like, you've been using us? Liko goes, no, this was our adventure. Just immediately. Instead of having any shred of doubt.
Yeah. Umbreon, use Reflect. Behem uses Thunderbolt. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank goodness Captain Pikachu has the ability Lightning Rod. Am I right, guys?
Thank God for Spinal, because Fritos yells out the ability and its effects.
That's a good point. I mean, Spinal knows. He doesn't. I mean, he wouldn't. That didn't help him. He already knew. But thank goodness Thunderbolt didn't hit Charizard, who's weak to electric attacks. And my first thought was, oh, sick. Fritos, you should probably terrestrialize right now, so that way that attack won't hurt you. And also, you'll be super effective against Behem. Why don't we just do that now?
And I was thinking, Fritos, maybe you shouldn't yell out your Pokemon's hidden abilities.
Yeah, maybe not.
Umbreon, maybe you should save that for later.
Umbreon, you Snarl. Volt Tackle. Oh my god, here we go. I was getting hype watching the battle because, like I said, I'm always using Malamar in the 7-star Terror Raids to skill swap and then die and then come back. And I told you guys this a million times, how sick it is, how sick Malamar's ability is, where stats that should decrease you actually increase your stats and vice versa.
Exactly.
So that way you're fighting your 7-star Terra battle. He's trying to make himself stronger, but he just keeps making himself weaker and weaker. And it's just so sick.
Much like Gibeon in the base of the Explorers, he's gone in the opposite direction and is now at Laqua.
Exactly. Behem, use skill swap. And oh my goodness, Behem skill swaps with Captain Pikachu. So now Behem has Lightning Rod. And there's no way to hit Umbreon with a lightning attack because it'll go straight to Behem. How about that? Interesting.
Yeah, take that.
I have a question.
Yes, Geese.
Skill swap. I'm assuming that only lasts as long as the battle.
Yeah. Or yes, that is correct.
You can't swap back and forth?
If you use skill swap again. If you get knocked out, then you go back to your original ability.
But so Captain Pikachu no longer has Lightning Rod?
Exactly.
Only for the extent of the battle. As soon as the battle's over, he has Lightning Rod again.
That'll come into play later.
All right, perfect. Now that Pikachu, Captain, no longer has Lightning Rod, I can hit this Charizard with a Thunderbolt. Perfect. I'm always one step ahead. Me. That's Spinal talking, of course. All part of the plan, Taylor. Snarl, Thunderbolt, Charizard. Oh my god, he's dodging. He's weaving. But Captain Pikachu has an idea. He's going to Thunder Punch Umbreon from a tree. But wow, could we forget Fritos? Behem has the teleportation ability to jump right in front and immediately take that lightning rod to the face, or take that Thunderbolt. Now he's even stronger and boosted. Oh my god.
I like that fun ability. Where they're like, oh, it didn't boost Pikachu, but Behem gets the boost.
No, it boosted both of them. That's how Lightning Rod works. You absorb the electric attack and become more powerful. It's the same as... is it Gastrodon has this ability? It's the same with water attack.
Shout out to my boy Gastrodon. I love Gastrodon.
Yeah, I think Gastrodon has the same type of guy, but it's for water attacks, where it absorbs it, and then you get boosted. All right, we're cutting back to the kids versus Coral and Sidian. Coral sends out Screamtail, and believe it or not, guys, Screamtail screams. And it just hit me. I just realized these kids have never even met Screamtail. She's been around for so long. I thought they were all familiar, but no, it's the first time.
It hasn't been that long. It's been like 6 episodes.
Yeah, like 6 episodes, something like that.
I was sitting here watching this fight, kind of chuckling to myself because I was thinking, the only person that caught a Pokemon in the crater, these ridiculous, unknown, or unresearched Pokemon that would give you such an edge in battle and mean so much to the world above, the only one that got one was Sandwich.
Coral, yeah, and she didn't even mean to do it. She was just throwing her chapstick at her and accidentally hit it with a Pokeball. So, pretty sick stuff. Go Garganacl and Medicham. Boom Burst. Wide Guard. Crocolore, use Disarming Voice. Floragato, use Magical Leaf. Hit that Salt Monster. Oh my god, Garganacl put up a Stone Edge. Okay, Floragato, new plan. I want you to actually use Magical Leaf correctly and aim it. God, he's still putting up Stone Edges. We can't win.
I'm sitting here at this point and I'm thinking, okay, you're doing something different with the Fritos and Spinal fight. Okay, that's fine. They're doing a fun little 2-on-2 talking about hidden abilities. I'm sitting here watching Chelsea, Coral, and
Sidian. All you got to remember is you have to remember his Japanese name is Onyx. So remember Obsidian is a rock. Take off the you're left with Sidian.
Okay, so Chelsea, Sidian, and Sandwich are sitting there fighting the twerps, and there's nothing different. There's nothing. We've seen this so many times, and they're not doing it in a way that the series that I've seen, at least, would show Jesse and James, where at least they had like a fun little scheme, and there was like a goofy element of attack, or it would be over real fast. This is just another fight that's the exact same that we've seen time and time again, establishes no new thought process, no new abilities.
I love how every fight we have, the lesson is you have to think outside the box.
Medicham, use Calm Mind. Oh my god, he's really going to power up with that attack. Holy moly. Quaxwell, quick, use Liquidation. Low Kick. Oh my god, this Medicham is so good at meditating that it's dodging in the middle of using Calm Mind. And now it uses Stored Power. Oh no. Guys, Stored Power boosts and gets stronger with every stat boost. Taylor, do you realize that if you boosted every stat to its max, Stored Power would have a base of 860? Oh my god.
That's alarmingly high.
Screamtail, use Play Rough, Flame Charge, Crocolore, Flamethrower, Boom Burst, Wide Guard, Quick Attack, Floragato. Oh my god, Garganacl is told to cancel the Wide Guard and grab Floragato's little bud on the end of her whip and slams her down on the ground.
Hate to see it.
Hate to see it, guys.
I wanted the bet. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I liked Dot's little attempt at using Aqua Jet to make the ground slippery and make Medicham slip.
Still haven't got to that point.
I know. That's why I said I know I'm jumping ahead. But I'm sitting here watching her set this up, thinking, okay, way to go, Dot. And then Chelsea says something like, oh, that's not going to work against me. My footwork is too good. And I'm like, okay, they're really building this up. And then when they finally cash that coupon in, it gets hit with an Aqua Jet after slipping and then is just a little wet. No, it wasn't like a big old fight-ending attack. It wasn't. It was just like, oh, okay.
No, anyway, we'll get to that when it comes. Salt Cure. Oh my god, you guys. These explorers are so good at predicting these children's attack, maybe because they've been spying on them this entire time. It's time for a commercial break. We're back from the commercial break. Medicham still just dodging away. We can't get even a lick in.
Or an Aqua Jet.
What if we try a volley of Aqua Cutters?
Whoa.
And like Taylor mentioned, there's puddles all over the ground. Seems like it could be a brilliant plan. We got to make that Medicham slip. But because Chelsea saw through the plan, he doesn't slip yet.
Yep, but it'll be curtains if it does.
Well, sort of. Medicham, you Zen headbutt and hit that Quaxwell right in his giant forehead as hard as you can. Oh my God. It's not looking good for the kids.
If you're gonna hit something in the head, forehead's not the place.
What are you talking about? That's like where it hurts a lot, remember?
That's where the skull is the strongest, in people at least.
No, just hit, if you have a stronger skull, hit him in the forehead. It'll hurt so bad. While this big giant fight's going on, Screamtail and Crocalor still just yelling at each other.
I will say, while I hate this battle with most of my being, the Crocalor and the Screamtail standing 4 feet away from each other screaming is very funny to me.
Yeah, Boomburst and Disarming Voice is creating this giant audible ball of sound waves.
And they're both like not master tacticians or giant powerhouses. They both just kind of seem to do whatever in fights.
But when Dot sees this ball of sound, she says, "What if?" Quaxwell, quickly, air cutter those sound waves. I bet it'll bounce off and go towards Medicham, just like filling a balloon with too much air, Taylor. Medicham couldn't have possibly predicted this. It's hit, and it's trying to dodge, and it slips on the puddle, trying to dodge. Yatta! Aqua Cutter, that idiot!
Finally, the opening we needed to launch our final barrage.
And now that exciting event has happened, let's cut back to Fritos, where the real battle's happening.
Because Medicham is got some water on it.
Yeah, it's on the ground, so it can get hit. Charizard, fly up into the air with Captain Pikachu. Thunderbolt, Snarl, jump and double team. Oh my God. Geese Peep, take it away. What does Captain Pikachu do to Umbreon?
He lands on Umbreon and grabs him by the ears and like kind of positions it, and then Charizard terrestrializes and does a big hit on Pikachu and Umbreon.
You may be thinking to yourself, Charizard, you did a big giant dark type attack on your friend Captain Pikachu? For audio listeners, Geese Peep and I are moving our index finger back and forth to show you how much of a fool you are. Do you forget?
Yes, is the answer that the universe is giving you.
They skill swapped, and of course, Behem had his ability telepathy, which makes it where you can't get hit by your partner's move in a double battle. So not only is Charizard Dark Terror type protected from super effective electric attacks, he's hitting Behem and Umbreon for giant attacks with the Dark type move. Captain Pikachu's fine. He didn't get hit at all.
Who knows why it's using a Dark type move against an Umbreon?
He uses Terra Blast, which is going to be the type of what he is terrestrializes. Taylor, you fool. Don't you realize it's part of a much bigger plan?
I had no clue. What a fool am I?
Yes, Taylor. So stupid. Listen. There's a lot of moving parts here, guys. It's not that Charizard dark type, dark terrestrialized terror type is using a dark type on Umbreon.
The dark and daring Charizard is using a different attack.
No, it's that he knows that Captain Pikachu is thunder punching Umbreon in the face, and what happens the second a thunder attack hits Umbreon? His boy Behem, his ability, Lightning Rod's going to make him teleport over there, so that way the big giant dark attack hits Psychic type Behem, which he's super effective weak against.
Holy mackerel.
Fritos is just a genius.
I missed that part.
What a smart person.
He tricked it into jumping in front of Umbreon with that ability. Behem's completely knocked out. Umbreon's still alive. But best of all, like we mentioned before, Captain Pikachu not a scratch on him because
I thought you were going to say, but best of luck to both of our competitors.
All right. Now Fritos and Spinal talk back and forth for a while. It's not important. Snarl, Volt Tackle! Although, is this the scene? Maybe it's later, but it was kind of funny where Spinal says, "My God, how can you be that smart? How did you know it was telepathy?" And Frito said, "I just had a feeling." And
It was
Spinal
so
says,
funny.
He says, "What?"
What? He did no research required or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
The vibes told him.
Geese Peep checks the vibes of Wonder Picks in Pokemon TCG Pocket, and she has a near 1 in 5 success rate. So, who's dumb now?
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't
near it.
Yeah, like around 1 in 5.
Yesterday, Michael asked me to do one, and I had it right, and then I doubted myself.
Classic Spinal move.
Yep.
You should have Fritos that.
I know.
Unfortunately, it's time to jump back to the kids' battle. So we cut back to the kids. Florigato's jumping around the trees with her vine acrobatics. Keep it up! Oh, I will say this was absolutely hysterical. Did you guys notice after Garganical used Recover again to get all his HP back, Florigato was so annoyed. Her
It was
face
that was very
staring
funny.
at him getting his health back. Just, oh, great. Sick.
I think it was supposed to be like, I don't think that it was conveying the emotion that they intended, because that's not a very Pokemon thing to do, the being annoyed in a battle, but it's very funny.
Because it's how we feel. Oh, great. This battle's going to go on even longer. Florigato.
Exactly.
Correct me.
If that is what they were intending, shouts out to the people who decided that phase was to go there.
Shouts out. Sidian is now going to terrestrialize Garganical into a giant rock type Terra type. Oh my God. Acrobatics.
Very sick Terra crown, by the way.
Especially for him, because now it's a bunch of rocks on top of rocks, so it looks like an inverted pyramid on top of a pyramid. Pretty
well,
sick.
It looks like Mount Olympus.
It does. Stone Edge. Oh man, he's knocking down all the trees, which a bit rude. Geese Peep, you're going to just ruin this forest?
I also noted that. That is very rude.
I'm not a fan.
It's kind of interesting that they're in this Pokemon paradise and there's a gigantic fight happening and nobody's checking it out. Like, I'm surprised.
The Pokemon aren't in this area. There's no Pokemon near this. Remember, the whole forest surrounding the entrance to Laqua, the secret sealed away area, it was abandoned. So there's no Pokemon.
Oh, right.
Is this the end? Salt Cure, Sucker Punch. Oh my God, Florigato sweeps the leg just like the AT-ATs in Hoth. Taylor.
Way to go. Good soccer punch.
She vine whips its leg and trips him, and the Salt Cure flies everywhere. Big Magical Leaf. Not dig Magical Leaf. Big Magical Leaf. It's so super effective on this rock type, Terra type, terrestrialize.
What was the move earlier? I think it was at the start of the fight where Liko said, "Let's use a controlled Magical Leaf."
Yeah, that's what I was making fun of earlier when I said, let's use Magical Leaf correctly this time.
Yeah.
Instead of closing your eyes and using Magical Leaf, how about you actually pay attention to what you're doing? Okay, Florigato?
I want to hear her say, "Let's use a weak, poorly aimed Magical Leaf."
Please. All right, well, that's one Pokemon down. Play rough, Flame Charge. Oh, guys, we are getting so pumped up in this battle. Roy is the most ganky boy you've ever seen in your life. Crocalor running up a tree. He's flying like how he's always wanted to, just like Buzz Lightyear. Oh my God, flamethrower from the sky. And then Screamtail gets terrestrialized, and she's a big fairy. Flame Charge, Play Rough, Boom Burst, Disarming Voice, and Crocalor wins. Good job, everybody.
Yep, good job. Way to use all of those fairy moves, Crocalor.
Yep, knocks out Screamtail.
None of the kids terrestrialized.
At this point, oh yeah, see how sick they are? At this point, I'm going, okay, is the episode over yet? And then Coral throws out Glalie, and I go, oh my God, it's still going. We cut back to Spinal, and he says to Fritos, "I guess I lost. It's me, Spinal."
That was a pretty funny moment, because I'm just picturing him saying, "Okay, I lost," and then just going and sitting down by a rock. Like, I don't know what you do after declaring defeat.
Well, he declares defeat, so that way Frito says, "Okay, sick, let me check on my boys. Let me check on Charizard and Cap, see how they're doing." And in that 1 second, Spinal sprints off like Milchick, and then Fritos turns around and says, where'd you go? Where did he go?
I mean, he couldn't have gone far. I guess Behem can teleport Spinal.
Oh, that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, he's always teleporting all around. So the second Spinal runs off, the ground starts to shake, and oh my god, there's a giant portal in the sky. A big pink into the world looking guy that looks like Eternatus from Sword and Shield.
Oh my goodness.
Liko stares up into the giant portal and says, "Oh my god, is that Laquarium? Laquium?"
And then just a French person asking about an aquarium.
Yeah. Donde está l'aquarium? And it says to be continued, and the episode's over. And Geese Peep is now going to tell us all about Sandy Shocks in this week's Poke Fritos of the Week, Poke Seminar. And then we'll discuss how we felt about this episode. Geese Peep, please take it away.
I'm glad they're not doing a seminar about the skill swap, because Lord knows we all know so much about that.
I do.
On to Sandy Shocks.
Yep.
Yeah,
my favorite character this episode.
Yeah. So it's the Paradox Pokemon Sandy Shocks. A certain magazine claims it's a 10,000-year-old magneton. But do you know what that black fur-like substance covering its body is? Is it A, rubber, B, iron sand, or C, wigs?
B, iron sand. Just like when we were in elementary school, remember? And we had our little magnets and the little guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made a little mustache on the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the little man, Mr. Mustache. Was that his name?
Mrs. Mustache.
What was his name? Mr. Man, where you made his little facial hair.
Sam or something.
Sam the man.
Sandy Sam or...
It wasn't...
Sandy
it wasn't not Mr. Potato Head.
No.
Ah.
The guy.
Please write in looklistencast@gmail.com. Who is that guy? Who is that man with the mustache?
Anyway.
Help us find the mustached man.
Yeah.
Anyway, the answer is yes. B.
The answer is yes!
Okay.
B. Iron sand. It sticks to its body due to the strong magnetic force emitted by its units.
I think it's just talking about each individual sphere that were the Magnemites.
Okay. You can tell how strong it is by how much iron sand it has. And then we get an animation of one of these guys walking in the desert with Tinkertuff's hammer stuck on the shiny...
He's not shiny. Geese Peep. That's one segment you gotta do. I don't know why you think he's shiny.
Tinkertuff's hammer stuck on Sandy Shocks.
Shiny Magnemite.
And then Captain Pikachu is trying to pull back Tinkertuff, and then there's a little mouse hold pulling back Captain Pikachu.
Adorable. What a good animation.
Very cute. They used all of their animation on that.
Nah. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Bad animation. I thought it was fun. I mean, it's not that I've ever seen it, but I have seen a clip. I probably mentioned this a few weeks ago. There's a clip circulating on social media of, I guess, the most recent thing happening in One Piece. And I said, wow, that actually looks very, very sick.
Was it a character walking in?
It was a lot of rubber happening. It was like the biggest battles. It was like the biggest battles you could imagine in Dragon Ball, but it's everybody made of rubber or something.
So that's the power of the main character awakening his devil fruit. Those fights are so sick. So One Piece has always kind of
Taylor's animated of the week.
One Piece has always been really heavily inspired by Looney Tunes, and it's finally like reaching its point of coalescence where it just is Looney Tunes, but in a sick way. And the animators are killing it. They are putting out the best animation on the market. Shouts out to current One Piece. Way to go, guys.
Yeah, I've never watched an episode, probably never will, but it was a sick fight. Maybe I'll watch a fan cam AMV compilation of sick fights. This episode of Pokemon, not a lot happens, just some fun, sick battles. I have to give it a good score, though, because I was enjoying it. I thought it was fun. And the skill swap, I'm not as hard on the kids versus Sandwich Onigiri as the other two are, because I did think it was kind of neat that she came up with this plan to slip on the water, and it eventually did work. I thought the whole using double, triple, quad ability skill swap stuff that Taylor and Geese didn't even notice what was happening. That to me was super sick. So I think
No. First of all, Dot has literally pulled that same move before in a battle.
All right, well, even ignoring Dot, it's still an 8.0 because it was a lot of fun battles. Very sick to see skill swap, and not only use skill swap, but like I said, you're quad questing it, Taylor. You're triple blasting 16 abilities to pull off a cool combo attack. And if you like battles in the big terror raids, you go, that's pretty sick. Coming up with a cool combo. Fun little battle.
The Frito battle was the best part. I even was impressed by the clever thinking.
Me too.
It was okay. I don't know.
So first score of the week is 8.0. Geese, what are you giving it?
7.5. I don't know.
Wow, that's a good score for a battle episode for you.
Yeah, battle episode. I wish they had done, instead of the big reveal as we've been using you, I wish it had been the big reveal was our base is in Laqua or something. I don't know. I didn't feel like anything happened this episode or last episode, which is wild because all of the interesting opportunities they've had, I don't know how you're doing so little with them. Finally, going up the mountain, using the aid of the 6 heroes of light. And it's like, oh no, Lapras, don't run into those rocks. Oh, you want to run into those rocks? Let's call Cleavor. Like, not using them in any significant capacity. Laqua reveal isn't that great.
I thought at least they would need Trap Ghost and the 6 heroes to break the barrier.
Just something that can't be circumvented with an airship or a ladder. Like, just give me something where the 6 heroes of light are present in a significant capacity.
I do think that the 6 heroes are probably going to be needed for something in a little bit.
I think so too.
Technically, they did need them because they needed the 6 heroes to get Rayquaza, and they needed Rayquaza to show them where Laqua was.
Yeah.
And the Explorers, the only reason they knew is because they've been talking to Gibeon this whole time.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm discrediting that. I just wish that they had actually used the Pokemon in something other than an HM.
They
capacity.
will.
And whenever they were having another fight with Chelsea, Sidian, and
Coral,
darn it. Coral sounds nothing like Sandwich. I'm just going to call her Sandwich. They should have said...
Call her Corn Dog. Isn't that her English name?
Oh, I thought it was Sandwich. But they're saying, haha, we used you to get us to Laqua, and nobody said, I mean, we have a shiny Rayquaza now. Like, I think we're good. Like, we're fine. I don't care if you used us. We got all these sick... Like, we have a Galarian Moltres, and it would have been cool if they had gotten involved in that battle and just wiped the floor with them and been like, oh, what? We showed you. Fight with Fritos, really sick. Fight with kids, really big waste of time. Did anything happen in the past, 5 episodes that can't be summed up in 2 sentences? No. I'm going to give this one a 6.
Whoa! This is just baby battle getting ready. We're going to have all the 6 heroes, I'm sure, fighting Gibeon and Zygarde. It'll be sick. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited, and I have actual expectations for the end of the this particular series. I just hope that they don't phone it in like they have been. It's a really weird thing where you have filler episodes that have better content than these episodes. I'm just sitting here thinking about, man, remember that episode without Creamy? I cared about who was making the better pastry. You know how much I care about here? Very little.
Yeah. Oh, well. Maybe next week will be better. We say every week of this podcast about the anime. Guys, that concludes our discussion on this week's big fun Battlefield episode that some people don't think is that great. Before we move on to the wrap up, we have a tiny little question from Ollie Bro. Everybody remembers Ollie Bro.
Shouts out.
He says, in reference to you, Taylor, I agree. What's his name? Denis Villeneuve?
Mm-hmm.
I agree Denis Villeneuve is a good director. Have any of you seen Dune Part 2? I've already answered yes. It's very sick in IMAX. Please, Taylor, take it away.
I saw Dune Chapter 1 several times in theaters. I saw Dune Chapter 2 even more times in theaters. That movie was so sick. They had some silly moments. I will never not laugh when I see this elaborate battle to take down one of the spice extractors, and then They go through all of this, people's lives being put on the line. It's a breakneck battle. Are we going to make it? And then they're just like, okay, it's down. Now use the giant instant wind lasers. And it was just a very funny moment into the show.
Good show.
What I would say is if you want to see like very, very interesting content, rewatch the hallway scene with Léa Seydoux and what's the guy's name?
Detective Malroy?
No, he's kind of a Austin Butler. The Léa Seydoux seduction scene with Austin Butler is so well done. And there are a few breakdowns on the internet, on YouTube, about the timing of the scene with the music and the sound design. And I go and rewatch that scene maybe once a month at this point. It's incredibly well done. Some of his best work. Just really, really solid scene.
Great music in that movie, too. Geese Peep, have you seen Dune Part 2?
Yes, I have, and it's a great movie. And Denis Villeneuve is one of my favorite contemporary directors.
Sorry, Denny.
You can't scoff afterwards and try to pass it off as a cough.
I really love the sound design of those movies. Really great stuff.
It's really good. What was y'all's favorite scene in those movies?
Isn't space what you were talking about? Wasn't that sick when they were like doing a lot of slide cancels under the guys, like the big feet?
Yeah, it was that was a fun scene in part 2. What was yours, Geese?
And also when he's riding Worm Man.
Exactly.
And he's got the knife and he's holding it all sick.
It wasn't even the knife. There are just so many good scenes in Dune Part 2 because I keep thinking I liked Part 1 a little bit better because I don't necessarily think Paul is my favorite character in the show, and I like that they embraced the more ensemble side, and some of the geopolitics were a little bit more interesting. But Dune Part 2 is incredible. It's so good.
Part 2
yes.
Part 2 was a lot of fun, but I do remember being more scared in Part 1. Like the evil guys, the villains were so much more mysterious and scary.
Yeah, and they embraced the kind of ritualistic side of things, like the Emperor's army, the Sardaukar. That scene in the rain where they're recruiting them for that kind of infiltration mission, and they're just doing that kind of blood ritual. And they're all chanting, and you can't understand what's going on. And they have all of this, like being given the contract to sign to take over Arrakis was another really sick scene. And there's all of these rituals that are just so foreign to the viewer. And I really like that they didn't provide all of this context. There was no audience hand holding. And each character was just so
monologues.
Yeah. But part 2 had the sandworm scene. And everybody on the planet loved that scene because it is such a good scene. You can't watch that in a theater and not get chills. It's so well done. I was sitting there clapping.
Guys, I'm sure it'll come back to IMAX before the next part comes out.
Oh, it has to.
You guys got to watch it in IMAX. The biggest IMAX you can find. Come on, guys. You need big sound system and just giant screen.
It's also very good in Dolby.
Yeah,
I would love to watch it in IMAX.
Be sick.
It's the way to do it. I saw it in IMAX 2 times and Dolby 2 times, and they're both very good. Like Dolby has, I would say the screen isn't as impressive, so it's not as immersive, but it is more clear, and it is absolutely louder.
HDR,
yeah. Dune series is incredible.
Well, that concludes our thoughts on Dune 2. Thank you, Ollie Bro, for the question. Taylor, Geese Peep, let's get out of here. Wrap it on up out of here.
Thanks for listening to the podcast.
I'm glad we're talking in this accent because I've been watching peppers and egg sandwich videos a lot lately.
Oh, I got a shiny heat tran to catch. I got to eat something. Oh my God, I got to do laundry. Geese Peep, please. Wrap up, please.
Yeah, hurry it up, Geese. What the heck are you doing?
I forgot to do laundry. Well, I didn't forget, but I thought I'd have, go ahead, please.
I've been doing nothing but laundry.
Do I have time?
You can follow us at Look, Listen, Cast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Please like and comment so more people see it. Also, thank you, Keith, for our artwork. You can find him at twitch.tv/KeithSquared.
Shouts out Professor Ticklebits for the website and the
boilerplate.
Twitch.tv/prof_ticklebits. Please recommend this podcast to your friends, grandmas, nieces, uncles, nephews. Please send questions to looklistencast@gmail.com. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye 3 times, Geese, 5 times, Geese, Taylor, 1 time, Geese.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.